India recently participated in the Palestine donor group meeting, which was held in Brussels. And India has announced new projects that include a specialty hospital and an artificial limb fitment center and a vocational training institute for Palestine. How significant is this assistance and how do you see this?
Well, thank you so much indeed, Ayushi, for coming today. It's always good to be appear on the ANI, of course, channel. Yes, India announced yesterday the foreign minister, His Excellency Jay Shankar, had announced that India, during the campaign for when they launched the campaign for the seat for the Security Council, India seat for the Security Council, His Excellency announced that during their participation in Brussels meeting, India already declared the 3 very significant and very important projects. The very first one, which is to complete the pledge that His Excellency the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, of course, launched 2017 of establishing or building a new hospital in the Palestinian territory. And now we are, I think, in the very final phase to start the implementation of this project in Jenin in West Bank. The second very important project is the artificial limbs project, and I already discussed this issue since the very first meeting to me with the Minister of Foreign Affairs itself. You might know that approximately it's 5,000 to 6,000 Palestinians had endured a life-changing or had been amputated in Gaza during the ongoing genocidal live stream, Israeli genocidal war, of course. So that we are in Palestine in a very desperate need to this type of project, in this specific project. And we already discussed this issue with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, so that we are doing great job or great steps in this particular issue when it came, of course, to the theoretical level. And the very last one, of course, not the very last one, just to remind you and all of your audience that less than 1 month ago, also India pledged $5 million to finance the UNRWA, which is the United Nations entity that is dealing with the Palestinian refugee. And also another very important project His Excellency had been announced yesterday, which is a vocational training center. And we are also believe that this is a very important project right now, and it's in the exact time, especially for the 2 main reasons. Of course, India have a lot of relative advantage when it came to the vocational training and other issue. And the other very important reasons, during the last 1,010 days approximately of the genocidal war, Israel did not spare any effort to stifle the Palestinian economy. And part of course, they did not spare any measures to make sure that the collapse of the Palestinian economy, so that this type of project, I mean the vocational training project, will help to sustain and to improve and to subsidize, to push forward the Palestinian economy at large.
You mentioned about the funding. We know that India has continued funding UNRWA while several countries reduced or suspended their contributions. How important has India's support been for Palestinian people?
No, it's not only some country had reduced. United States of America has fully cut its funded to UNRWA. Some other country, one of the European country, unfortunately, allow many of the advocate and institution inside this country to advocate against the UNRWA itself. And there is a big campaign in one of these countries right now to dismantle and to advocate for definancing the UNRWA itself. So that UNRWA in the eye of the storm, and when we talk about UNRWA in the eye of the storm, I mean UNRWA in the eye of the storm by the Zionist movement at large. And when we talk about Zionist movement, it's larger than and bigger than the state of Israel or the Israeli occupation itself. So that many around the world whom is believing that it's the exact time to neglect or to turn their back to the international law and to the Palestinian right of return and to the Palestinian refugee question, want to eliminate and dismembering and dismantling the UNRWA itself. So that, and that should lead us to the other point that you mentioned it in your question, which is how significant India. It's not only financial support. We believe that this financial support to UNRWA from India's side means that there is a strong commitment from the Indian side for the political reason of the existing of UNRWA itself, and for the right of the Palestinian people to return, and for, of course, the international law at large. So that we highly appreciated this move, and not only considering it as just a financial move, but we also take it as an political move, and India align itself with the international law.
Ambassador, ex-Foreign Minister Dr. Jaishankar also reiterated India's support for a two-state solution for Palestine, which has always been the Indian position. How do you look at it?
No, India is not only supporting the two-state solution. India is still supporting even the Palestinian question in the United Nations. And when we talk about United Nations and the Palestinian question, I'm talking about approximately 12 to 14, sometimes the resolution is yearly adopted in the United Nations General Assembly, and India is backing all of these resolutions. India's position in the two-state solution is steadfast, very clear, cluster clear. India used to be still, and I'm pretty sure India will continue to be backing and continue to support the two-state solution as the only solution on the table. The other solution, of course, is the one-state or the apartheid state solution, which is unfortunately is the case right now, and the continue of the occupation.
Ambassador, India is seeking a non-permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council for the year 2028-2029. Dr. Jaishankar was in New York for that launch. How much does Palestine support India's candidature, and what role do you see India playing in the council if elected?
No, we can take it a step forward. India also deserves to be a permanent member of the Security Council, not for just 3 years. So that, and this, our position is cluster clear in this regard. Not only, I'm pretty sure the vast majority of the South countries supporting the renovation or the rehabilitation, so to speak, of the Security Council. And part of this rehabilitation or revisiting the charter of the Security Council and the rules that is guiding it is to have some major countries to be a permanent member. I'm pretty sure India is fully deserved to be a permanent member in the Security Council.
Yeah. And do you believe more countries will move forward towards recognizing Palestine as a full UN member? What diplomatic hurdles are still remaining?
No, the issue is we did not have the problem. The problem mainly because to have a full member state, to have a full recognition as a member state in the United Nations, you need to go through 3 steps. The first step is to submit the request to the Secretary General himself, and we already passed this step. The other step is to go through the Security Council, and the Security Council should give a recommendation that this state is deserve to be some type of recommendation to the General Assembly, and in the General Assembly we will be accepted. So the first and the third steps, we have no problem in it, absolutely. The second steps, unfortunately, due to our experience, had been blocked by the United States of America itself, and the main barriers to these steps is the United States of America, which is fully backing the Israeli occupation.
Just last question, Ambassador. How do you look at the current situation in the West Asia? We have been seeing an escalation. There have been attacks on commercial vessels. What are your views on that?
You start by talking about attacks in the commercial vessels, but there is a big country called Iran, Islamic Republic of Iran is utterly destroyed. There is their economy which is destroyed since 1978. We should tackle the issue all the time from its root. Just to let you know, the sanctions that not only Iran and many other countries, approximately 150 countries had been endured the sanctions long time ago. There is a very important study that had been published recently talking about the sanctions that cost these countries 58 million of their human being. I mean, these sanctions killed or led to the death of 58 million of a human being. No one, unfortunately, know about it. So, but the international community is just concentrating right now about the blockade of the strain and all of this. No, there's a root to this issue, and the root is, of course, the big root and the main root in the problem in West Asia and Middle East, and the other issue, of course, is the Israeli occupation. What we are witnessing today, everyone, is the consequence of the Israeli occupation and the consequence of the international community of being not able to pressure Israel to end this, its occupation and all of this stuff. Unfortunately, what happened recently is will and still affecting everyone worldwide, and I hope that it come to its end and very soon.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you so much for your perspective.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.